The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome aboard. Welcome to 2020. Appreciate your attendance this morning. We have a great meeting this morning planned for the Social Security Claiming Guide information with Dave Pemper. Dave will be joining us here shortly, so we appreciate your attending here this morning. I'll be going over some intro slides here this morning, going over some information that you'll be interested in, and then we'll have Dave join us here in about 5 minutes. So make sure you are aware of that. Otherwise, appreciate your attendance today. And we look forward to a nice webinar today. We're going over some great information on giving Social Security webinars or seminars and going over some great details on that. Here at IMES, we continue to do our referred producer program, and you can earn some great incentive dollars based on referring agents to IMES. You get $50 when they get contracted. You get a nice override on their business, 20 basis points. That's paid out on a quarterly basis. I know I have agents that are constantly calling me, asking when those checks are going out. So definitely a nice system to build up some additional income coming out to you that you don't have to work too hard for, just referring agents to IMES that do business, and then you will get the override based on that. We also have our marketing reimbursement. We reimbursed $100 for every $100,000 of indexed annuity premium. A great way for us to build up a nice account for you that you can use for advertising. I know we have agents that use it for mailings, doing these Social Security claiming seminars, doing telemarketing, whatever those expenses are. We help with that cost, and we reimburse 50% of your cost, and you have $100 put in your account for every $100,000 of premium right through IMES. So really a nice combination there. We continue to do our new producer builder perks, a good way to earn some additional money, get some additional benefits based on your production. I know we have different levels of production you can qualify for based on your business in the first 6 months. A great way to earn some additional incentives. We've got a couple of different seminar systems. We have our Ritz-Carlton travel package. I know we're going to be adding a couple additional levels to this at higher level amounts, so we'll have those available for you here in the next week or two. But right now we're at a $100,000 level, $300,000 level, and a $500,000 level. A great way to qualify for those programs, and really a nice perk that we offer through IMES, and a great way to get a jump on your business and earn some additional incentives based on that situation. So really nice program we put together for those new producer perks. I know that we consistently send these packages out to clients or to agents, and they've earned a number of iPads through the years. The website's a great program we offer. If you do not have a website for your office or your company, we will help put that together for you, and then we pay for your first 2 years on that program. We also have different cash amounts you can earn based on the different levels of production. As I mentioned, we do have the two coaching and seminar programs through Matt Gill and Dave Pemper. I know Dave does an excellent job with his. We've had a great success with this Social Security claiming program we've put together. Really a nice package that's been put together for that side of it. A great way for you to get in front of a number of clients at one time and be able to utilize information that you've picked up from Dave and his coaching classes, and take that to the field and really create some nice activity based on that. We have a great back office support team here at IMES. We've got a great contracting department, great new business department. They help you out with everything from when the business is submitted all the way through issue, and it's a great way to pick up some valuable additional benefits through IMES. I know we've got a great creative team. They do a fantastic job on putting together pieces for marketing and advertising. Really a great system that we put together here with the support groups we have available through our office here. We also have a great marketing staff. You can able to get quotes anytime you need them on the life or annuity side. Great case development. Maybe you've got a high-end client that has a number of dollars he wants to invest in different sides of the business. We'd be glad to guide you through that. We've got his case design. We do a great job on the marketing side. We've got individuals who have been here for many years, been in the business for a long time, so some great experience we have through our marketing team here. We also have the contracting. You're able to get licensed with a number of companies at one time by filling out one set of contracting paperwork. That really saves you time and effort of having to go through and fill out individual companies. You're able to do one set of contracts, and that'll be used by a number of carriers based on who you want to get signed up with. So really a nice program on that side. As I mentioned, our creative team, they do a fantastic job. They've got some great programs they put together for website development. They can help you out with digital marketing, advertising via social media. I know that's really picked up for the last few months, last couple of years. They've got a great design team that can help design logos, redo your business card, maybe redo your stationery. Maybe you want to put together some postcards or newsletters, or do some email marketing. It can really help you with all that information and really put together a nice package of information for you that you can utilize there in the field. I know we've had a number of agents using the social media advertising, getting in front of clients that way. I know with our Social Security claiming seminar program, they do use social media to bring in the individuals to those events. I know that based on the program we have, you get guaranteed attendees based on a certain cost. They're $100 a piece, and that way you can guarantee 25 buying units at your meetings, and that way that really helps expand that database of information that you'll be getting on those clients and really help with the attendance at a lower cost, and really help the bottom line for you as a marketer, that you're getting more attendees for less cost. Really a nice combination there. But that is available through our system, and with the creative team, they can also help maybe if you have a campaign you're trying to develop for mailings or the email side of it. Doing that online, they can help you with all that information, and they can get availability of special lists and everything that we can utilize out there in the field. So the creative team is a great source we have at IMES, and we have a lot of agents that use them on a continual basis on developing their clientele. We've got our website. It's available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You can pick up some really good information off our website. I know we've got a lot of good details on there with our annuity grid, our life insurance information you can pull off there. We've got some great sales tools, some good sales ideas on both the life and annuity side of the market. We have our annuity grid available online at all times, so it's good to have the updated rates, commissions, everything's right there at your fingertips. We have a great tool on their website you can utilize for comparing different incomes for clients based on the income riders. You can, see how different companies compare based on their payouts. Maybe you have a client that's 59 years of age. They want to wait 8 years to start taking payments. You can plug that information in, plug in their deposit. Just say it's $100,000. It's going to show you, the best payouts based on that $100,000 deposit on a 59-year-old that defers payments for 8 years. It's really a nice tool. You can do a 3-company side-by-side comparison. You can see how the payouts compare, in the first year, second year, all the way down. And typically it's a 10-year roll-up with most of our carriers. You can compare how those compare across the board. Really a nice tool. I use this all the time on comparing payouts for income. We also have a strategy tool online. You can look at the different index strategies, see how they've compared on returns the last number of years. We can look at a lot of different comparisons and see how those play out based on the S&P index. Some of these other special indexes are out there. We've seen a lot of companies going more towards pure accumulation as opposed to some of these income riders. It's really been a change in the field here the last 6 months to a year. See a lot of companies coming out with uncapped strategies, tying to special indexed accounts. Really a nice feature we have with a lot of companies out there that have picked up some really good accumulation plays, and we've seen some really good results on some of these special indexes. I know the Barclays index with F&G this last year was up about 15%. So if you take 140% of that, 15%, you're up almost 20% return on that Barclays strategy here for 2019. So really nice play with that one. And we've got some other companies that have some really good returns based on their strategies. I know the Smart Passage with NASA has been very popular, has excellent back testing based on that special index they have. And we have a number of other carriers that have these special indexes they put together for the companies, and they've come out with these great uncapped strategies. So really seeing a nice uptick on accumulation plays. So really nice program on that side. But we do have all this available on our website. You can go on there, surf around. You can see what we have available for the marketing side, the support side. You can pick up E&O insurance right on our website. You can take a look at the different strategies we have, and we got some good stuff going on that side. And if you do have any questions along the way, be sure to get those asked here along the way. We'll be glad to help you out on that end of it. We also put on our Life and Annuity Academies. We do have one coming up probably in late March. If you have interest in coming to one of our academies, I know we'd like to bring you in. If you have not been to one of our academies before, it's a great opportunity for you to pick up some great details on marketing, different aspects we have on that side. We'll be going over our retirement analyzer software program. It's a great software package we have available through IMES, free of cost, based on being licensed with our group and doing business with IMES. You can be able to get this retirement analyzer software. Really good for looking at where a client stands today for retirement, kind of what we're looking at down the road. You know, you can plug in some different variables. Maybe you look at turbulent economic issues. You can plug in, you know, different long-term care stays, maybe a premature death with one of the clients. You know, a lot of good information you can utilize based on that. So that's a great software program. If you do have interest in utilizing that, we do have Marcus in our office. He does a great job on that side of it. Our next meeting, as I mentioned, is coming up in the next few months. We typically do 3 or 4 of these a year. We bring in a lot of our high-end marketing individuals from the companies. Also, we bring in some great agents that have great success in the field. They'll be going over sales ideas, closing techniques, ways to get in front of more clients. We'll be going over some seminar information. Dave Pemper typically attends these meetings. He's a great source to use for details on giving seminars. Dave's been doing it for years. He's got great experience on both the security side and the insurance side, so he has both sides covered for you. Really a good program there you can utilize. Again, if you do have interest in attending one of our upcoming academies, we'll probably do one in March. We typically do one in May or June, and we do one in the fall, typically in September. If that's something you have interest in, definitely check off yes, I would like to attend. I'll be calling everyone that is attending today's webinar, and we'll be going over some details regarding those upcoming academies and some other details, some great information we'll be discussing based on what we have to offer through IMES. I'll go ahead and close that up real quick. We also opened up our wealth management side of the business. I know that we've had some great success on getting that kicked off and running here with Charles Hiring Jr. He's got a great staff over there on that side of the business. They've got some great platforms your clients can utilize for investments. His team can help you if you do not currently have a Series 65. You can get that information over to you to get that test set up, get the study materials over to you, and help you with the whole process of getting that taken, getting it passed, getting set up with the specific RIA we offer. And it's a great program we have through IMES. It really helps our agents. A lot of I'd say 9 of our top 10 agents in the field all have their Series 65. They're utilizing that on the security side. They're utilizing the insurance side of it. They can really help their clients out with all sides of the business, and really a nice program we've put together on that side of it. Again, if you do have interest in taking a look at the wealth management side of our team here, be glad to have Charles give you a call, Mike give you a call. They're great in that side of the business. They can help you out with the whole process of getting set up. And we have seen a nice increase on that business. Assets under management is really a big item in the field right now. You see a lot of your top producing securities individuals have really nice blocks of business set up on that end, and it's a great way for you to build up your clientele. So definitely keep that in mind based on that side of the market. I'm going to go ahead and get this closed up, and we'll go ahead and move forward. Again, if you have any questions along the way, be sure to get those typed in. I'll be glad to get those processed for you. And we've got our, as I mentioned, our academies coming up this year. We still do 3 or 4 of our academies, a great way to pick up some sales ideas, great ways to take information you pick up at the academy, take it back to your location and utilize that in the field. Got some great information on both on the life and annuity side of the market, and we look forward to meeting you in person. And we typically hold these either in Omaha, Des Moines. We have done some in Dallas, Atlanta, some different locations throughout the country, but typically they are in Des Moines or Omaha, so do keep that in mind. We have our next marketing summit coming up in the end of actually August is our TINE trip, and you can qualify for that. Qualification runs from July 1st through June 30th of 2020, so we're about 6 months into that qualification, and that is going to be to the Cabo San Lucas there in the Baja Peninsula in Mexico. A great location, and should be a fantastic meeting we're going to hold at that site. And then we have our IMES trips coming up in 2021. Qualification started July 1st of 2019. That runs through December 31st of 2020. This January, right now, we are giving double credit towards that IMES trip, going to the Secrets in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico, and you get double credit for all production you send in this month. It does not have to be issued in January. It just has to be submitted in January. So if you submit $1 million of production in January, it gets issued, let's just say next couple months. That's going to give you 2 million points towards the 3.5 million points needed to qualify for the trips. And we got a second trip you can qualify for. It's for our top 15 producers. It does take more qualification. It takes about 6.5 million points to qualify. That's also going to be in Mexico. It's an extended trip beyond the Puerto Vallarta trip, and that should be a fantastic time had well there. And that's going to be in the Four Seasons Resort in Punta Mita, Mexico. And it takes 6.5 million points just to have qualification minimums met. And if you do an 8.5 million points, you are instantly qualified for that trip. So 8.5 million points get you the instant qualification. 6.5 million points get you in the running. So should be a nice extension onto that other trip there in Mexico. Beautiful locations there, and a great good experience had by all there. Otherwise, we are going to be getting started here with Dave. I know Dave Pepper has been with us for a number of years, done a great job on the coaching side, and he's going to be going over his Social Security maximization seminar program and program he offers to the agents in the field. I know Dave does a great job with us on production. He's really a big hitter on both security side and the insurance side. Dave has been coaching our agents for the last, I'd say 10 years, and has a really good block of agencies helped out in the past. He's seen some great increases of production from these agents, and he does a great job on mentoring them and moving them to higher platforms of production. So definitely good to have Dave on this morning. Dave's actually joining us in our office this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and hand over the controls to Dave here, and he'll go through his program with you. And if you do have interest in looking more into what Dave has to offer, I know we'll do a poll here a little bit later here in the program. And if you do have interest, just check off yes that you would like to learn more about Dave's programs. And he's got a great Social Security seminar program he's put together, and a great way to get in front of more clients and a good way to close more sales. So at that, I'll go ahead and get this switched over to Dave. Again, it's been good talking to you again this morning. This is Matt Tour at IMES. We'll be glad to keep things rolling with Dave this morning. So I'll go ahead and hand off controls to Dave Pemper. Thank you.
All right, little switcheroo there. So thank you. I appreciate it. Um, boy, what a great attendance do we have here. It is wonderful. I think a lot of people are, one of their New Year's resolutions is to write more business. How about that? That's one of mine. I know that. Get in front of more people, more qualified folks. So my name is Dave Pimper. Been in the business since 1981. Started out with insurance for 3 years, and then I've been in brokerage since '84, meaning securities. And really, the insurance part of my business really revolves around the investment arm of the insurance companies, fixed indexed annuities, mostly some fixed. And once in a great while, I'll do a single premium life. So I'm really not a conventional insurance guy. I'm more of a retirement planner, retirement advisor. That's work securities and fixed index kind of as a mainstay. What you're going to find out today in the next 30 minutes. So we're going to be done with the actual presentation easily by on the top of the hour. But Social Security, I'm just letting you know right now, Social Security, it was a hot subject 10, 12 years ago. It's a hot subject now. And I will say that there's no question that the majority of the John Q public doesn't have a clue when it comes to Social Security claiming. They don't. Only 2% of the John and Josephine Q public really understand Social Security. They really don't understand the inner workings whatsoever. I want to hear another wild statistic. Only 12% of all advisors, whether you're with UBS or Morgan Stanley, Edward Jones, Independent, Securities America, doesn't make any difference. Only between 12 and 50% of the advisors really understand Social Security. So I will say this is that it's a subject that is sought after by most people in the public, and I think that again, I'm biased because I've done so many public seminars since the mid '80s when I started in seminar business. Started in '81 in the financial service arena, but I've done over 500 public seminars. Does that make me an expert? Well, it certainly gives me expertise because we've done a lot of changing. That went from no meals, then to meals, and now to no meals again. It's been over 2.5 years since I've done my last seminar that we paid for a meal. So if you've done seminars before and you're unhappy with the folks that were there just for the meal, well, I will tell you, times have changed because you can get good response now, especially through Social Security seminars without a meal. So let's talk here about Mary Beth Franklin. She writes for the Investment News a lot about Social Security and Medicare. This was a quoting her directly from an article out of Investment News on September 21 of 2017. Majority of future retirees threaten to switch from advisors who don't offer guidance. Now we've got 3 bullet points. 80% of future retirees who work with a financial advisor said they would switch advisors to maximize their Social Security benefit. That's key. If you don't know Social Security, 80% of future retirees, they would switch because you don't know that. Have I gotten oodles of business because I know Social Security and the advisor they're working with does not? You darn right. Second bullet point, many financial advisors shy away from Social Security conversations because they feel they don't know enough about the complex topic. That's true. Despite the apparent reluctance among some financial advisors to offer Social Security guidance, it seems to be an increasing priority for clients. But no doubt, that's true also. So what happens here is I'm going to teach you a little bit about Social Security claiming today, but remember there's 2,700 rules in Social Security claiming by the government. It's a government program, unbelievable amount of acronyms, just all over the place. PIA, FRA, all different kinds of things. But what I try to do is take a complicated subject and make it simpler to understand. Now we use Facebook marketing. I'm going to be 65 in April, so I'm 64 right now. I've done this for a long time, 35 plus years. But what happens is that I've been testing out on Social Security claiming on seminars. I've been testing Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, just Twitter, all different things. And I'll tell you right now, Facebook advertising is without a doubt for this type of marketing It's pristine. And I've tested for over 2 years with a portion. I was hard copy, and then a portion was with Facebook marketing. And I had limited success. I probably paid for what the cost was, but maybe not much more. And I had better results with a hard mailing. But that all changed about 6 months ago. Um, I do called Retirement Boss Radio is a radio host show, which is also one of the marketing solutions that IAMS and Dave Pimper. I coach that. I've been in radio again for over 25 years with about half of that time with an hour show, and about half that time with a market ending report. But we have that open for folks also. But the same fella said, I'd like to go in and be marketing your workshops also. And I said, I've had some limited success. So he said, let me test it a couple times. And boy, we've really had, I think it's wild success in the Social Security seminars. So first of all, why Facebook marketing? Cost is less. Campaign budget optimization, they can go in and really hone down of why people are marking yes that they want to come to the workshop. Demographics, artificial intelligence, pixels. I never knew what pixels and retargeting. There's all of this stuff. It takes less setup time. You don't need nearly as much setup time. You can track your attendance for each night. There's just a lot of neat reasons. I don't do hard mailing now. There are some areas that we still do, not me personally, but for our coaching clients. But most everything is done by Facebook marketing. But cost and the results are one of the big reasons. So I'm going to go through this because our last year we still talked about the new tax reform legislation, Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts. We have not updated the slide yet because I'm not doing my first one until this Thursday for Social Security on the new year. But we're taking this out, kind of it's older news, and we put in the new Secure Act. That's been it's the biggest tax reform that there's been, within the last decade for sure. And it affects RMDs, it affects inherited IRAs, it affects 401ks and be able to have lifetime annuities within 401ks. There certainly are some very important things. So instead of those tax reform slides, we'll have 2 to 4 Secure Act retirement slides, which is timely. And hopefully it gets more people there also. So here we go. Just kind of stay with me. A little stroll down memory lane. Those are actual slides. I put together this Social Security Maximization seminar. It's part of the IAMS seminar series. Another one that has been also, we have tested it with social media. And we've had some pretty darn good success. Is the 401k IRA rollover game plan workshop. Really looking for that rollover retirement money, which is a lot of who I work with that pre-retired and just retired. But going back to Social Security, started by Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1935, first check in 1940. 65 was the only date you could take it in the beginning. The average age of a person, longevity, was only the age of 62 in 1935 when this came out. What's the average age now? Late 70s, early 80s for sure. 1961 lowered and reduced the age. You could take a reduced benefit from 62. In that same time period, they went up to the age of 70 if you wanted to wait longer to increase the benefit. Cost of living allowances, COLA, inflation started in 75. It wasn't taxed until 83. The Social Security Trust Fund was in trouble. And so they have brackets, which have never been upped with COLAs. So as income and inflation, everything rises, those brackets have not. So in the beginning, not many people were taxed, and now most of my clients are taxed. It was a 50% of the money is taxed in 83, and then Bill Clinton 85%. So there's 15% that is never taxed. You can be Bill Gates himself or Warren Buffett taking Social Security, and 15% is tax-free. The Bipartisan Budget Act phased out file and suspend. in 6 months, and restricted application is going to be phased out in 2024. So in 4 or more years, but there's still some people that it does help. I will tell you right now, back in 2015, when it phased out file and suspend, a lot of advisors quit showing Social Security workshops because they thought the sizzle was gone, and oh, how wrong they could possibly be. All of those, now I'm only going to go through about a quarter of the slides, and I'm going to go through those quicker than maybe even what I would at the workshop itself, but I'm going to educate you up. One of the things about if you sign up for Social Security workshop, first of all, and I'll go through this, but we have an offer, and right now, and it is, I don't know if it'll always be around, but as of now, $2,500 will guarantee you 25 buying units at your workshop. If you don't have 25 buying units, say you have 24, well, it's $100 per buying unit. We refund $100. If 5 people buying units are not there, only 20 are there instead of 25, 500 is refunded. How about if you just unbelievable, you get nobody there, we refund your entire amount. For $2,500, you can go out to the 3 or 4 or 5 major seminar providers right now, and there's no possible way that they can do that. How do we do that? First of all, we got a great vendor who was willing to really cut down his profit margin. It's a small shop. I mean, it's a growing shop, one of the 10 fastest growing small businesses in South Carolina, but he's been very, very good. And IAMS does chip in some on this, not just the first one, but from here on out to keep that cost down to $2,500. Shop it. You just aren't going to find most likely a better deal than that. But also important Social Security, 59% retirees count on their Social Security benefit to be, it's the major source of their income. It's very, very important to most people. That's why when you have an annuity workshop or you have a rollover workshop, it's going to apply to some of the folks, but 94% of all Americans have a Social Security benefit. And the ones who normally show up to Social Security workshop, they probably know they're not going to take at the earliest of 62. They're trying to maximize. Folks who are trying to maximize have a little more knowledge within the investment, within the insurance, within the annuity background, and they have monies available. So it kind of pre-screens itself, even of course, though, that we do have specific demographics. This comes from Jana Heron, USA Today. It's an excerpt from July 1st, just of last year, 2019, so basically 6 months ago. This is wild. Doing this one thing, this comes right from the article, word for word. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. Bullet point 1, how much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? And I read it just like this to the crowd. Those are the slides we use. Bullet point number 2, retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime. Why? Because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Bullet point 3, overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. Folks, that's why you're here tonight. You're here to find out when is the best time, how to maximum, how to get the most out of your Social Security benefit. You're not going to learn that from the Social Security Administration. You know why? Unbelievably, they can't give advice. We do. As a retirement advisor, I do. But they cannot. They can only give you your best benefit, your highest benefit that you would get right now. I'll let you know, that's one of the 7 or 8 slides that is extremely gets the people off a dead center to want to sign up for an appointment. I talk about in Social Security 101, if there was such a thing in college, there's not, because you don't learn about Social Security in college, but there's 3 ages or dates that are important. When's the first age you can start taking Social Security? That's right, 62. Can't take it 61. And we're not talking about the one-offs if it's disability or for children. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about an individual benefit from your working years. Age 62. You can take it in age 70 is the last time that you better take it or you just lose it. And then something in the middle is called full retirement age. So if you're born from 1953 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. I was born in 55, 1 year later than 54. So mine's 66 years and 2 months. And then each year it goes up to 62 months and 67 and over. If you're born, if you're born 1960 or later, then your full retirement age is 66. So virtually everyone coming on in, unless you're really old, if they don't come into this kind of workshop, your full retirement age is 66 to 67. A brand new baby born today, brand new, 1 day old. What's the full retirement age of that infant? 67. May change in the future, but right now it's 67. Everything goes for full retirement age. If you take it full retirement age, or called normal retirement age, you get your full benefit. If you take earlier, you get it now, that's a positive, but it's less, that's a negative. If you wait later, you don't get it now, that's the negative, but when you take it, it's increased, that's the positive, and that's for the rest of your life. So if it's decreased, you take early, it is for the rest of your life. If you take later and you wait, you didn't get it now, but you take this more, it's for the rest of your life. I will tell you right now, the majority of Americans don't even know this. So when file and suspend went away in a phase out of 6 months in 2015 from the Bipartisan Budget Act, I would say half of the advisors quit showing Social Security workshops. I mean, the sizzle was gone. I'll tell you what, they don't even understand the stake. And most people on this line, and we got a plethora of advisors and agents on the line today, most of them, they may know this, but not much more. And one of the cool things about that $2,500 for the seminar, besides hopefully we get 10 to 12 good appointments out of that, and we've got a system, an A through Z, very specific process that if you follow it, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the appointments. It doesn't guarantee business, but it certainly puts the odds in your favor. What happens is that the kind of cool thing with that also comes Social Security software that is free for 3 months. You can subscribe between 25 and 30 bucks if you subscribe after that. But you're also going to get from myself 3 coaching sessions of 45 minutes each that's specifically around Social Security. We go through all of the slides. And then we've got a group. Lynn, I got administrators of I'm surrounded by great women. Lynn Feldhauser, Lori Welbus, and Amy. All of those are my administrators, and they also support my coaching clients. So we really do everything. You've got to find the library or the school or the municipal center, retirement center, conference center, motel, wherever it is at. You've got to get that. But from there, then we certainly go in and we do the rest. This will be getting FINRA reviewed. It doesn't affect anyone unless you're with a broker dealer. Some RIAs will need a FINRA review also, but we are getting a FINRA review. But because there's no products that are at all are mentioned, the only thing close to that would be we do mention about Roth conversions because of the lower interest rates of the higher standard deduction right now, the tax reform. But there shouldn't be any problem. We've had no problem with broker dealers, but we'll get a FINRA review here within a couple months. Any questions whatsoever, just type them on in. I'll be more than happy to go over those with you. There. Now, we're going to go pretty quickly, but one of the benefits is you learn about Social Security from coaching. So it's kind of a double thing. Not just are you going to get hopefully great prospects and some very good business out of this, but you're going to learn about Social Security. And what most FMOs do not have is someone to coach Social Security. And it's all part of that $2,500 of getting the seminar too. I don't coach Social Security on its own, but I coach it, of course, with and give you full support with Social Security seminars. One of the questions that normally come up is, Dave, how are you paid? I'm paid from a retainer, a monthly retainer from Insurance Agency Marketing Services. So nothing. I'm not in your hierarchy, doesn't come out of your pay, and your pay isn't affected in any possible way. I'm paid on a retainer, same amount for all the folks that I bring on with Social Security workshops. Look at the big benefit here. lifetime income, starting at a $2,000 benefit. In 10 years, it's a little less than a third of a million. In 20 years, it's 2/3. In 30 years, excuse me, it's $1.1 million. It's one of the biggest benefits you'll have. I actually have 5 Social Security myths. Social Security going broke this year when you were a kid. My dad always told me, better save, because Social Security is never going to be around. Well, funny, it still is around. If I'd have asked you last year, did it run a surplus or deficit? It actually ran a surplus of $3 billion. We may run a deficit in 2019. If not, it probably will be in 2020. The trust fund is supposed to run out of money in 2035. So your 2.9 trillion that's in there right now will run out. And I always bring up, so if you're getting a $2,000 benefit, the trust fund runs out of money in 2035, goes bankrupt. How much of that 2,000 do you think you're going to get? Most people will say nothing. It's bankrupt. But the funny thing is, how Social Security funded? Through payroll taxes. Yeah, FICA, Federal Insurance Contributions Act money. Yeah, you're 6.2%. The employer's 6.2%. If you're self-employed like I am, which a lot of people are in our business, you pay both ends of it. You pay the 12.4%. But I'll tell you what, the lifetime benefit for you and your spouse, if you're married, can really just be huge. There's solvency issues. Yeah, it was going to run out of money. The trust fund will in 2035. Hey, if it does go bankrupt, there's still that 6.2 coming in. So from the last slide, what I should have said is that you would end up getting about 80%. So 80% of 2,000 is going to go in and be about $1,600. Yeah. There's still money, but it would be reduced. But believe me, we'll make some changes before that time. Means testing is a big deal right now. They're saying, hey, if you make a good sum of money, they're going to take part of your Social Security and give it to people who don't have much. It's redistribution of wealth. Kind of sounds like socialism, doesn't it? But there's a lot of people, believe it or not, that's making its way into Congress that might get passed, by the House. I can't imagine it would be passed by the Senate, by the House. But means testing. But then the truth is on this, one of the studies I saw, that if you made $50,000, see, some of those people think you're making $300, $500, $1 million. No, $50,000, they start taking money away from you. True. Most people aren't in favor. I think the easiest thing, the easiest thing is really just to increase the full retirement age. My son's 28. I always say this. I like to have some humor because this is kind of a dry subject. My son's 28, smart guy, news editor of a local newspaper, and very, very good at the English language and writing. AP style, he calls it. So what happens, I say, Sam, look, if they're going to raise your full retirement age from 67 to 70, if I asked him that on the weekend, he would tell me, who cares? Give me another beer, Dad. And then people laugh a little bit. I think that people that are smiling have more of a chance to go in and probably mark yes. Why do people sign up for a workshop? I'm going to tell you, they don't like you, they're not going to sign up. If they don't connect with you, they're not going to sign up. You can be the greatest CPA or the greatest scientist or the greatest engineer, give the greatest details, but if you come off dry, you don't try to have a little bit of fun in here. I mean, look at that picture of that dog. Don't you love it? That's my favorite picture of the whole slides. A long-haired dachshund that it's one of your birthday with the birthday hat on. I love that slide. Full retirement age, maybe I said from 43 to 54, it's age 66. And then it steps up to 1960 or later, it's 67. If you take early, it's going to get discounted. If you take a 62, it's discounted 25%. If you wait longer, it's called delayed retirement credits. It's guaranteed to grow 8% a year. And both of those would have a cost of living adjustment added to that. So like last year was 2.8% in 2019. It's 1.6%. Not much. We're in a low interest rate environment, inflation environment, but it still does add to it. Where can you get a guaranteed investment, a stock or a bond, to guarantee 8 or 10%? You can't. Of course you can't. Only with Social Security. So we're going to go through this pretty quickly. I take much more time when we're actually doing it one-on-one. But my PIA, primary insurance amount, that's the amount that I have. Dave has it at full retirement age. Say it's 66. 2,400. Amy's PIA at full retirement age is 1,000. Dave takes his. Amy takes hers. I get my 2,400. Amy's can apply for either her 1,000 or half of my benefit, which is 1,200. That 200 is a top-up. She gets $1,200. What happens if Amy never worked? I take my $2,400. She's my spouse. All of hers is zero. Half of mine is $1,200. She gets $1,200. How about if I don't take mine? I let mine go to 70 and she takes hers. Does she have the option to take half of mine? Guess. Got a 50-50 chance here. Nope. She can't take half of mine until I take mine. And then if mine grows, say from 2,400 to 3,400, from 8 to 70, she doesn't get half of 3,400. She can only take the top up of the $200 that she would have gotten, and my primary insurance amount is at full retirement age. Now I'll tell you, if you didn't this is pretty simple stuff, but if you didn't really understand what I'm talking about, you really don't know much about Social Security. And you will when we're done coaching. You will when you're done learning the seminar. That's one of the great things. It isn't just getting in front of people, but it's learning Social Security so you can answer the questions. I'll tell you what, here, knowledge is power. Knowledge of Social Security is power. And what does power do? Power gives you the insight to give them great advice, hopefully for them to move money with yourself, how you're compensated. Divorce spouse benefit. Here's the triple play. You're married for at least 10 years. Spouse makes the ex makes no difference if they're married or not. You're married at least 10 years. And you're currently unmarried. They're the spouse. They both have to. You're married, of course. You both are 10 years. The spouse cannot be. Now the spouse could be remarried. You cannot if you're applying for it. And your ex is at least 62. If that's the case, then you can go in and use your spouse just as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? It's important because there's many more spousal privilege benefits with Social Security claiming than there is just a single. Tons of divorced spouses don't use the benefit that's available to them. How about survivor benefit? Let's say my benefit's $2,000, my wife's benefit's $1,200, I die. Say we're full retirement age or above. So what Amy can do is she can go in, drop her $1,200 and take my $2,000. Now, it's interesting because spousal benefits are done automatically. Survivor benefits you have to ask for. And I've got a great story. I'm a big believer that facts tell in stories sell, or facts tell in motion sells. True story. About 9 years ago, I was in Fremont, just after I really started learning Social Security. It's probably one of my first maybe 7 or 8 workshops. Gal comes in. I love her. She was older than me, probably 15 years. She calls me Mr. Pimper. Mr. Pimper, you said something that concerns me. You said that if your spouse's benefit is higher and he dies, you said that you could jump up to that benefit. Well, I was told you couldn't. And I said, who told you this? This is a true story. Who told you this? She said, my brother. How'd you like to be at those Thanksgiving dinners? Yeah, her husband's benefit was $1,800. Around, he goes off now. 100 was $1,800. Hers was $1,300. She lost out on $500 for 6 years. For 5 years. It was for 5 years because it's 30,000. 500 times 12 is 6,000 times 5 years is 30,000. We got her a retro benefit of 6 months of about $3,000, but she lost out because she listened to her brother. That's why you should go to a professional. And I say it just like that in the workshop. Coordinating spouse benefits. We're talking about the Bipartisan Budget Act. Yeah. So there's still restricted application if the person asking for the benefit was born January 2nd or before. The spouse doesn't have to be, but January 2nd or before of 1954. So you know what, folks? This gets really complicated, and I'm going to go through it quickly. And I go through it much slower, and you have a book. I have a great book. It's like really the Bible of Social Security that I have you read. But let's say Dave and Amy are both 66, and say we're both. I would only have to be, but say we're both born before 1/2 of 1954. My primary insurance amount at 66 is $2,400, and Amy's is $1,000. Amy files for a benefit. Normally, she can only take $1,000 because Dave let his grow. But if he restricts his application, he starts his, it stops his in the eyes of Social Security. And when he starts his, then he can have a spousal benefit, even though he can keep letting his grow, the 8% guaranteed. He can start letting it grow. So what happens is he keeps the 8%. Well, you know what? Amy's taking her 1,000, but now Dave can go in and take half of the 1,000. He can take 500 as a spousal benefit as his continues to grow the 8% in cost of living, the delayed retirement credits. Well, 500 times 12 is 6,000 a year. Doing it from 66 to 70, that's 24 grand. That is free money. Free money. Get a load of this. Of every person or couple that could benefit, less than 1%, actually it's 0.7 of 1% actually use it. Listen to that again. 0.7 of 1% actually do a restricted application. Why? They don't know about it. Social Security is never going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what. It's one of the greatest things. You know what? I don't expect for you to understand all of that because there's a lot of ins and outs. It took me a while to understand it, but I explained it when we coached together. Why would you claim early? If your health's bad, if you need the income, if you're, I always kid, let's say that your health is great, but your only 3 brothers have all died of lung cancer and you happen to be a smoker. Yeah, I probably would take it early. Annual earnings test. This changed. It's above 18,000 for 220. This will be revised next time, and it'll be revised when I give it on Thursday. But yeah, you know what? If you make over 18,000 and you're taking before full retirement age, yeah, you're going to give one of every $2 of Social Security back. If you make over about 45 to 50,000, you'll give it all back. Funny thing is, you get it back once you're full retirement age in a stipend for the rest of your life, but they take it out fast and give it back to you slow. Myth number 3, and I'm skipping some myths. You're going to get the biggest family benefit at age 70. That's so untrue. I mean, I always say Social Security is the worst. Social Security claiming is the worst water cooler because, hey, I claimed at 62 and you should too. Hey, I claimed at 70 and you should too. That's like saying my favorite color is violet and yours should be too. Yeah, it's not the case. There are do-overs. There's 3 types of do-overs. Remember that 6-month do-over I talked about that we got money back? Also, if you do over within a year, you made a mistake, should have took Social Security, you can pay it all back and act like it never started. Also, if you claim before full retirement age, you can't stop it until you became full retirement age. Then you can stop it and let delayed retirement credits grow. So it's a lot of different do-overs. Here are the income brackets. If you're married, filing jointly, under 32,000, that's provisional income, adjusted gross income, not counting any Social Security, half your Social Security, all your muni bond interest. Yeah, what happens is you put that all together. If it's under 32,000, you do not pay on Social Security. You pay 50% here, and over 44,000 provisional income, you pay 85%. And you can see what it is for the single also. We talk about strategies to not pay as much taxation on your Social Security. I love this last one. I put this in there. Just delay it. Reduces the number of years benefits are subject to tax. Absolutely. Social Security myth number 5. Social Security Administration will give you the best advice on how to maximize your benefit. They can give your highest benefit now. They cannot give you advice. And I love this next slide. This comes right from their POMS manual, Program Operational Manual Systems. I can get into it, and I'll show you how to get into it if you want to look up things, or you can call me. But look at D. For the employees at the Social Security Administration, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Who gives advice? Moi, me. Or when you give the workshop, you. We give advice. I'll tell you right now, it's a strong, strong seminar presentation. Consider all your income streams you want to claim at your right time, and I consider Social Security of all the income streams, the 5 income streams, the most flexible. I talk about wages, pensions, income producing assets, required minimum distributions of Social Security. I use this as a worksheet, and what makes us money is this right here, number 3. Finding out what's their 401ks, their IRAs, their bank accounts, life insurance, cash values, investments, brokerage accounts, real estate, you bet. So there's a lot of information when to claim the benefit. There's your individual benefit, spousal benefit, survivor benefit. I mean, just a ton. There's a lot to consider. And this goes right into the close. I believe the first slide and the last 3 slides are important. Here, 25 buying units. We, meaning IAMS, guarantees it through our social media vendor. No meals, No more mailings, no more empty rooms. You get one-on-one coaching from me, and you can use me as much as you want within reason. If you call me 10 times a day, I mean, I'll say you got to slow this down, but people don't. It's a proven seminar system. I've given this basic seminar. It was different one before that was not proprietary, but this is very similar information, and it's a process. Remember, nearly 80% of consumers would change advisors for getting better Social Security advice. Yeah, I've done this a lot. Over 500 public seminars, one-on-one seminar coaching. I'm available. I'm not in your hierarchy. It's a proven system. I try to make a real complicated Social Security easier to understand. There's some work on your part. 5 to 7 hours a week of study time that you need to do for about 4 weeks. So 20 to 30 hours. But I'll tell you what, it's something that you'll thank me down the road, I can almost assure you. Mass Media is our vendor, been in business since 67. Get a load of this. They'll purchase over $12 million in media this year. Is that wild? And then at the end, we always talk about procrastination. I'll say, you know what? Here's my last couple slides. I get the emotion going because factually they may not sign up. But I'll say, hey, you know what? I've done this business for over 35 years. I don't think I've ever had anybody come to me and say, Dave, you cannot believe the money that I've made from procrastinating. I've gotten rich off of procrastination. And then everybody will laugh. And then I'll say, here's a slogan, and you should memorize it. Procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Tomorrow never comes, does it? And then I normally say, what is Nike's slogan? Nike Shoe Company slogan. Matt's right. Just do it. What a great slogan. I say, folks who take action are normally the folks who are the most successful. Now, why do I do that? It's coming right into our no obligation complimentary appointment. And I say, hey, some folks here might have marked no. If you mark no, cross through it. Cross through that no. I want to start from you never even heard me present. You haven't heard the facts and figures or maybe how I can help you. Yeah, I'm on a clean slate here. I say I've marked off, and I'm going to do this quickly now because we're running out of time. But you can do it from the dates, and then I have time periods, morning, afternoon, evening appointments. And you can put the appointment times, dates, but I want this marked. We'll pick them up at the end. And then I'll say, everybody know the last slide. Everybody knows who George Foreman is? Yep. Heavyweight boxer. Won the boxing championship back when he was 45 years old, oldest ever. Made a ton of money from boxing, but where did George Foreman make the majority of his money? You're right, George Foreman Grill. Believe it or not, for having his name as the sole endorser of that, he got paid $136.5 million in cash in stocks. Cash in stock options. So, folks, I'm going to leave tonight with this. Unless you have your name on a grill, you need to mark yes and come in and see me. And then people laugh, and I get between 10 and 12, 13 appointments at almost every, maybe sometimes more than that, every single workshop. I'll tell you right now, if you've made a New Year's resolution that you want to be more effective, get in front of more qualified appointments, not just prospects or leads, but appointments, I'm telling you right now, this is a tough deal to beat. $2,500 for 25 guaranteed buying units in attendance. Matt's going to go in and put up the poll right now. And if you mark yes, then Nicole is going to go in and give you a call. Don't mark yes if you don't want to be called. Don't mark yes if you're not going to, answer her phone call or call her back. I mean, we're all professionals. You guys are busy. I'm certainly busy. I know IAMS is busy, but if you're interested in this, then I'm interested in talking with you. And I want to try to help you really increase the number of people you're getting in front of. This is a simple business, but it's not an easy business. You just get in front of enough qualified people and you close enough qualified people. That's simple, isn't it? But is it easy? No. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it, and we wouldn't have the gazillion of people on this webinar as we have today. We're going to open it up for questions, and I'm going to give it over to Matt real quick here.
Thanks a bunch, Dave. Glad you could join us this morning. And I know you did a great presentation here. I need to have my name on some grills. I could handle $136.5 million to have my name on a grill, yeah. Especially when they burn half the food they cook anyways, right, Dave? That's right. But appreciate the presentation. I know we've had great success with the seminar system. We've had a number of agents using it. It made some great sales. It's a great way to get in front of more prospects. I mean, even if you don't sell them this week, chances are you're going to sell some people here next few months based on these presentations, based on your seminars. And the key is to go ahead and do 2 or 3 of them, not just do one and quit. Go ahead and do 2 or 3 of them, and that way you've got a block of people, new people you have in your system to drip on, to keep in touch with, and to really close some great sales here in 2020. And we've seen a nice increase in business in the last year. We were up about 15% on our annuity premium overall, which is millions of dollars of premium. And we're expecting another really good year this year. And with the stock market kind of going up and down every day, a lot of your seniors are getting a little leery of the big gains that happened in 2019. They're looking at taking some of those profits, taking some money out of the market, putting it into safety, and you got a great time to get in touch with them. I did have a question on if they get a copy of the slideshow. Let me just ask Dave real quick on the slides. Do the people get a copy of that? And they do not. So you actually have to sign up for the system in order to get the slides. I wish we could give everything away for free, but unfortunately, it does take a few dollars to get the light bill paid off every month. But if you do have an interest in the program, I do have the poll still open. You can go ahead and check off yes. And we've got a good group of people that have voted, and a great number of you have checked off yes. So if you have not voted yet and you'd like to take a look at the system, we'd be glad to get you going here. And Dave wants to finish up with something here real quick. Let me go ahead and pass it to Dave.
Yeah, just as we're finishing up here, I just want to say this. It's this business, it's a contact business, even more than football. If you're not in contact with people, you're not going to write business. People have a desire to be educated. There's an old saying, people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. I mean, just ask my wife in her QVC fascination. she loves to buy. She hates to be sold. When you're educating people, you're not luring them with a meal. You're having it at the library or community center or the Metro Tech educational school. It has a different feeling. Most FMOs will have a mentor. You follow my lead. Just go do what I do. Well, you know what? Everybody is different. Coaching is different. That's why mentors aren't as successful as someone who's day-to-day coaches you through the rough spots. And that's what I'll do. So we're going to keep this open for about 1 more minute, but I'm telling you what do you have to lose? You don't have anything to lose. I mean, we talked for about 15, 20 minutes. This isn't for everybody. I mean, if you don't have 2,500, no, it's not for you. But I will tell you right now, I can't imagine there's anybody that's on the webinar today that doesn't want to be more productive. Or maybe they'd like to make the same amount of money and not work near the hours. I mean, you can look at it a bunch of different ways. I just know that if I'm in front of enough people, that good things happen. I'm not guaranteed, but good things do happen. I mean, if you take in less calories, this is one of my New Year's resolutions. If you take in less calories by eating, or you take in more calories than what you're burning, you're going to gain weight. If you bring in less calories, it's almost a law. Well, that's the way it is here. If you get in front of more people, you're bound to write more business. So we're going to close it down here like in 30 seconds. I thank you very much for your time. Thank you, everybody, and I'll let Matt sign off here.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Appreciate the time this morning. Have a great day. And I know Dave's got a great program he's running here, and we look forward to helping as many of you out as we can. Got a great system you can sign up for. Dave, gives a lot of personal time with this. Spends a lot of extra time up and beyond, what he should, but does a great job with the whole program. So, again, appreciate your time this morning. Had a great group on this morning. We look forward to working with everyone in the field. If you have any questions along the way, my name is Matt. Definitely give me a call. Nicole will also be contacting you in the next couple of days. Otherwise, everyone have a great new year. Have a great week. And we'll look forward to doing business with you here in 2020. Thank you.